Arizona has obviously become a major focus as one of the key battleground states for this coming election for both sides of the aisle. What we know is a two-plane crash. One person is dead. This is the first development we've heard since earlier when I heard gunshots. They're still speaking over the loudspeaker, demanding that the suspect come out with his hands in the air. And we're calling it annual. What's your plan going forward? Like, are we going to try to expand this at all, or is it just like pick up what we can and help out where we can? Dusty knows how to skate. Ice skates aren't exactly going to fit either over or under my dress pants, so we're keeping the flats on. His grandmother only spoke Spanish. I talked to her for a brief moment, and she said that they'd been out there every day since the flood water receded to give food to the people in that apartment complex. So reasons for Trump to make a visit there? Well, to see the work that is still yet to be done if he is to win the presidency. Fire safety's become a big issue here in Bisbee. How are you planning on addressing that issue heading into your third term? Are there more crashes so far this year? Well, the answer is simply no.
KGUN 9's Blake Phillips has been following the story for days now. He joins us live from the Linda Ronstadt Music Hall. Blake, what have you found out?
Well, Heidi, the mystery leaves a lot of unanswered questions that I'm digging into tonight. First, starting by sitting down with two Trump supporters who say they had to go to the emergency room following the rally last week. And I'm also asking the city and the Trump campaign some more questions to try to get some answers. Supporters were excited to attend former President Donald Trump's first rally in Tucson since 2020. But what happened next led to some bizarre questions. What exactly happened to both of you after the rally?
Yeah, and halfway through the dinner, her eyes started watering really bad. She was just tearing up.
My pain from 1 to 10 was an 8, a 9, even with my eyes closed. But I couldn't stand it when I blink. It was unbearable.
Eli and Francena Moreno were just two of a handful of people that reported feeling sick after the Trump rally. And while there were several heat-related calls, it wasn't until after when Francena says she noticed something was wrong.
Symptoms was the red face, red neck, and that was painful, but not as my eyes. That my eyes were my concern.
Later that night is when they made the call to get her some help.
Got to the point where she told me, you have to take me to the ER. And when she tells me that she has to go to the ER, I know it's serious.
I reached out to both the city of Tucson and the Trump campaign to get some answers. The Trump campaign responding saying, the Trump campaign has been collecting information. We remain committed to the countless patriots that attend our high-energy, high-impact rallies across the country. But now the question is, what caused this?
I don't think it was lights, because lights won't cause me to have pain in my nostrils.
And what about the people on the other side of the stage? Kathleen Wynn was just one person sitting on the other side, and she says,
nobody that sat where I sat and on my side of the stage had any ill effects, so it was isolated to the other side of the stage.
Now, the city of Tucson did confirm to me that a private company was brought in by the Trump team to handle the lighting, saying in a statement, the Linda Ronstadt Music Hall stage lights were not used. I have reached out to the Trump campaign to confirm this, and we are waiting to hear back. But whether or not it was the lighting, the Morenos just want answers. And so a lot of those questions about the cause, well, to put it simply, we just really don't know. Could it have been the lights? It could have been some kind of chemical reaction to something in the air. But Heidi, it really is a big mystery.
Yeah, it really is. And Blake, you mentioned something in the air. There's been rumors that it may have been related to a new air conditioning unit.
Well, the city told me that they actually replaced and upgraded the air conditioning unit back in 2021. They had just replaced the filters ahead of the rally towards the end of August. So they also want to reiterate that if it was anything in the air, it would not have come through the air conditioning system because that would have affected the entire rally, not just that small group of people.
Very good point. And one last question before you go, Blake. What did the Tucson Police Department have to say about all of this? Because it is really just a bizarre turn of events.
Well, they told me, again, those heat-related calls, we were able to confirm that number. Those were the Tucson Fire Department responding to those calls. But the police department says they haven't received any reports related to this incident. So, again, we're going to keep asking these questions and hopefully get some answers. Linemen from across the country have been working day and night to get the lights back on in and around the Tampa area. And I spoke with TECO CEO Archie Collins and asked him, how long is it going to take? Well, he says they're getting close, but they need a little bit more time. Bill and Maria Coggins live about 2 miles west of Tampa International Airport and haven't had power since Milton hit.
For Milton, it went out, pretty quick.
Easy to compare. The two storms they've survived in just 2 weeks.
We feel blessed for what we do have. We're not really crying about what we no longer do or what we don't.
The first floor of their new Baycrest home will have to be almost completely remodeled. But despite the damage, somehow they're still positive.
We're alive. All of our family members are alive and accounted for, and unfortunately not everyone can say that.
Tico has linemen from as far as Canada working overtime since Helene. No power to stoplights, lines down across town. And for some, patience is growing thin. Tico CEO Archie Collins is asking for just a little bit more time.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. I mean, it's long hours for the team.
So I asked him, does Tico have enough men to get the job done?
More resources you throw at it, the greater the risk you're going to have a safety issue. And so 6,000 resources is by far the largest contingent ever assembled at Tico. So we have what we need to effect a timely and a safe restoration.
And as that time passes, the work goes on, together as Tampa Bay.
I mean, it looks natural.
It's driftwood. Yeah. Neighbors, churches, community has been fabulous.
Cul-de-sac in particular was already fairly close, and this has really been quite a binding event for this whole group here. I mean, we've all gotten really close.
For now, these crews are going to continue to work to get those lights back on. They tell me their goal by the end of next week. But that's just another step in the recovery process for these communities that's probably going to last a while. For now in Tampa, I'm Blake Phillips, ABC Action News. The Quetz family has more questions than answers at this point, and they're upset. Mad that their son was shot and killed so close to home, and mad that they haven't had any contact from the U.S. government. But as a family full of veterans, they're not going to sleep until their son gets justice.
No young man deserves to be shot in the back for driving through someplace an hour from his house.
31-year-old Tucson native and Marine veteran Nick Quetz was shot and killed on his way to Rocky Point.
Simply going to the beach.
Warren Quetz is a retired Army lieutenant colonel who worked in Latin America for over 40 years. But right now, he's in the dark. Is there any details of the assault that you can share with me that you were told or anything like that?
Well, hey, I mean, I'm glad you're asking me that question. So the answer is no. I can't. Everything we have heard, right, is through rumor, innuendo.
The family has been guests at both the Trump and Vance rally here in Arizona this week.
And his name was Nicholas Douglas Quetz.
But they say they're not playing politics.
When I reached out to our own administration, got nothing. I know that President Trump and Senator Vance immediately responded, and I met with both of them within 36 hours.
But what does justice look like for Warren and his family?
So I can look my son's killer in the eye, and I can know that he's going to Florence Max in Colorado, and I know I can visit him. That's what I want, and I want him to be there every day the rest of his life to rot in jail.
And while Nick may be gone, his mom says now is the time for change.
We can't change the horrific murder of my son, but we can ensure that another mother doesn't have to suffer the same thing.
I'm Blake Phillips, KGUN 9. Fostering or adopting an animal can be a big life change, but PAC does offer an option for dog lovers that can be as little or as long as you like. So this right here is Maya, and her and I spent some time together. Check it out. Are you excited to go on a walk? Oh. Now I got to get that replaced. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. There are over 450 dogs at the Pima Animal Care Center right now, all looking for a new home, just like Maya.
So that means we're really looking for fosters and adopters right now. We're especially looking for short-term fosters, so something as short as 2 weeks, or even a little bit shorter if that's what you can handle.
But PAC also offers what they call pajama parties and day trips. The pajama parties let you take your new friend home for as little as a night. But because I'm in the process of moving, I didn't take Maya home. But I did get to take Maya out on her first day trip. Well, we got Maya in the car. We're taking her out on her first day trip out of PAC. We're going to take her to the park first and get her a pup cup afterwards. She's a little bit nervous, so we're going to have to work to keep her comfortable, but this should be a lot of fun. We found a dog park that I let Maya run around in and played some fetch for about 20 to 30 minutes. I just wanted her to have some time outside of the kennel. You having fun yet? But then was the main event. We had to get her a pup cup. She wasn't a bad car rider, just a little nervous. We eventually got her that pup cup, which she surprisingly wasn't interested in. She was more interested in you guys. At first. Nope. No. Maya. Maya. Lock in. Here we go. Right here. Okay. Now we're talking. After about an hour out of the kennel, I had to take her back, but these day trips can be as long as you'd like them to be.
Typically people will take them for one night, but sometimes we have extended pajama parties where people keep them for 3 or 4 days. All of those things are amazing. Any time out of the shelter is really beneficial for them.
After the process, you fill out a report card telling PAC and any future adopters how the dog did, boosting their chances of getting adopted in as little as an hour of your free time. And Maya, of course, gets an A+.
Blake, she looks so sweet. That's just wonderful. I mean, what a special experience for Maya to be able to have for a day.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was really sad to take her back, but I was glad to give her a little bit of time outside.
Yeah, well, now she's an experienced pup cupper, which is a huge asset, I'm sure, for anyone who's looking to adopt her. And she's still there. She's still available. People can go adopt her.
Yes, that kind of process is weird because they want to get those dogs outside for at least one time before they put them up officially for adoption.
Okay.
But I think she kind of passed all the tests.
Yeah. So what was that like from the time you went into the shelter and said, "Hi, I would like a dog for a day"? What was that like?
It was really quick. I mean, they had me fill out a little bit of paperwork. They just kind of asked me like, "Hey, what's your plan?" And once we figured out I was going to do a day trip instead of a sleepover, which I want to do a sleepover, but too many boxes.
Eventually.
It was really easy. Just filled out some paperwork. They gave me a leash and a little go bag, and we got out.
That's so okay. So it's easy, not intimidating. Sounds like a really fun thing anybody can go do.
Really simple.
Oh,
Yes.
and Maya had such a great time. Thanks for doing that.
Yep.
That's awesome.